Hi guys, today I'll be talking about a little hack you can use to actually add review snippets to your Google listings. As you can see here, I added it to a client's listing quite recently. I did some schema markup and actually appeared very quickly within 2 days, in fact, after I added this specific schema markup, right? So I did do a video, if you go back onto my YouTube, I did do a video of me adding schema markup and local business markup to a client's website, add schema markup to the website, right? But one of the things that I came across was recently, well, after adding certain schema markup and things, I actually noticed like FAQ markup, FAQ Florida TMS. I actually started to notice that some of my FAQ markup was showing up, but my review snippets weren't showing up, right? So when I was typing up certain things like, Florida TMS, right? Certain things, the review markup, the little stars weren't actually showing up, right? So I was wondering why this was, right? Because one of the things that I noticed, well, one of the things that I did was I did local business markup, well, medical clinic markup, right? So if we go to the structured data tool, and as if you've seen the video that I told you to go and watch, the add schema markup, I actually added the aggregate rating in there, right? So if we throw in our URL, we take Florida TMS Clinic up here, and we plug it into this structured data testing tool. I actually noticed that when I added this when I added the medical clinic markup, I added the aggregate rating, and I was waiting around because obviously the FAQ markup is starting to show when we go Florida TMS FAQ, because I added that actually quite recently. However, the review snippets weren't showing. So I wondered why this was, because I'm not a complete pro with schema, right? It's I'm learning every day. It's something that I'm not a professional on, but I'm trying to learn more and more as I go on. And recently today, I found out that one of the experiments I did actually worked, right, and actually worked quite well, right, to get these review rating markups, because I believe these are really important to increase the click-through rate of a client's listing, right, on Google. Not only does the title tag and the meta description count, but if you can get the schema markup showing the little review markup out of all of these listings, you're more likely to click on the reviewed listing, right, compared to the one that doesn't have the review listing, right? So I believe this was something that was really important. It was something that I wanted to get, alive and active before anything else, right? Before I start doing certain content optimizations, keyword research, and competitor, research, things like that. So I wanted to share with you today one of the things that Google has announced, fairly recently, that I was that I wasn't aware of, and now I'm aware of it. I've made certain experiments and things to actually try and overcome this update that they made, right? And it seemed to have worked. So back to it. Before we get into this video today and how I did this, I want to say, if you want the Duda SEO checklist, the free Duda SEO checklist, all you have to do is just join my Facebook group, and you'll also be able to receive the new the new list of tools that I have, and you'll also be able to receive the template, right? The site architecture template. So you get all of that in my group. All you have to do is just go and join my Facebook group, and I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to go do that. So back to it. So I did some research and I realized that Google will no longer display local business review rich results. So from understanding that, obviously the schema markup that we had on the page was medical clinic markup, which is pretty similar to local business, right? It's just a different sort of category. And as you can see here, I did put the aggregate rating in, hoping that the review snippets would show, and clearly they didn't. So I wanted to find out a different way around this, right? And one of the ways that I always preach is to actually look at your competitors, right? And actually look to see, look at competitors that are using review schema and having those stars showing up, and actually plug them in to the Google structured data testing tool, right? So one of the things I did was actually plug in a competitor that I knew had the review schema markup to find out what they were doing to overcome this issue, right? And I did some tests and I did some different things. Certain things didn't work, certain things did. And I realized one of the things that you need to do instead of, well, I believe that adding local business markup is beneficial for your SEO and things like that. But if you want to get the review markup to show, just like I've done here, here, obviously you want to do something called product markup, right? And all you want to do, you don't have to add anything too complicated. Obviously, Tampa TMS is offering a service, which is also a product, if you think about it. Well, in Google Eyes it is, so it seems to work, right? So what you want to do is you want to just head over to this tool in here. So schema markup generator, technical SEO. I'm going to leave a link in the description below. And you want to just go down to product, right? And you can have your local business or your medical business markup still on there because it's beneficial for local SEO, right? But what you want to do is you want to add product markup. And what you want to do is only fill out, well, you only need to fill out a certain amount of it, right? It's a small hack and it seems to work. And I've added it to all of the pages now, all the necessary pages. Originally, I just tested it out on the Tampa TMS patient reviews page, right? And it seemed to work. So now I've implemented it onto the, Tampa TMS, sorry, oh, oops daisy. I've added it on the Tampa TMS pages ranking in here to help this listing stand out compared to the other listings, right? So once we actually start showing these stars underneath here, obviously it isn't fully indexing yet because it says Tampa TMS there, but once it fully indexes, we'll start to see these stars showing up, and hopefully that was, as we rank this listing higher and we get the stars showing, we start increasing the click-through rate and the rankings, we start gaining more leads and conversions, right? So this is step one, and this is something that's really important to actually increase that click-through rate. And what you want to do is you want to go back to, as we were saying, go back to the product markup and simply type in, obviously if we go back to what I've done for this page, simply type in, so we've got the web page, we've got the local business, we've got the video object, we've got the medical clinic, we go down to the product markup, simply type in the name of the business, right, Florida TMS Clinic, you type that up here, and then what you want to do is you want to, obviously we've got the type, you want to add the exact rating value, the exact rating count, so we've got the, you go down to this one down here and you just want to add, the rating value, and then the rating count, right? And that's all you need to add. I mean, it's as simple as that, really. You only need to add a couple of the details in. Obviously, it will come up with all these different warnings, but don't worry about that too much because your reviews will be starting to show up, right? All you need is just these little aspects here, these little attributes to get those review stars coming up. And if you do own a Duda site, right, all you need to do is obviously create the code in here, copy this code, and then go to Duda, right? So we go over to Duda, and then what you want to do is you want to find that page. So we go to pages up here, and you want to just go to SEO, and then you just want to go to header HTML and just plug it in here, right? As you can see here, we've got the script, and we've got the the schema markup, and then we've got the type product, and then we've got the name, no image, aggregate rating, type 529. And there we have it. We'll start to see the reviews showing up, right? And then once you do this, what you want to make sure so your actual site starts to index quicker is you want to just go over to Google Search Console so the reviews actually show up a bit quicker than usual because they do take some time. You want to just manually re-index this site. So you just want to go over to URL performance and you want to go over to the pages or wherever they are, and you want to just go to that page, and then you just want to click the little search icon, and it will start retrieving data, and then you just want to go request indexing, and it will request the indexing, right? And after a couple of days after doing this, you'll start to see this the markup showing up in the Google Search Console, right? So obviously we've got our FAQ markup obviously showing, we've got our products markup, obviously we've only got one at the moment, but today I added all the rest of the product markup to all the different pages, and hopefully Next couple of days, we'll start to see the stars on the Google listings, and we'll start to see them in the Google search console. Obviously, it does take some time though, so please allow some time for it to re-index and things. We don't know how long really how long it takes for Google to re-index things. Sometimes it does take some time, but this is one way you can speed up the process, right? We've got our review snippets, and then we've got the videos, right? So this is a little technique that you can use. I will add the Schema markup code in my Facebook group. The exact code that I use, the product markup, and you can actually just replace the code as you see fit. I've also added a little post about the FAQ markup that I use to show FAQs, right? So if we go to Florida TMS FAQ, right? So not only do you want the stars showing up, you can have FAQs on your page if you add the FAQ markup on your website. One of the things that I want to preach is, if you are going to add the reviews and you're going to add the FAQ markup, you want to make sure those reviews and those FAQs are actually on the page, right? You can't go and add all this, review markup and things on pages that don't have reviews, right? One of the reasons we do this is, obviously we've got the review markup on the home page, so we add the review markup to the home page, right? And then we've got the accelerated CMS. We've actually got the review markup on the accelerated CMS page, right? So hopefully that schema markup that you've added to that Duda site will start to see this, start to see these customer reviews and things, and actually show them in the Google search engine, just like it has done for our example. Sorry, Tampa TMS. For our example down here, this was a test, right? This was a test to see if it would work, and it has worked. So I always recommend doing sort of A/B testing and things like that, just to try different things out, right? And as you can see here, not only is it showing the reviews in here, is starting to see the improved site architecture structure that we've added, right? So that shows that it's been indexed in the search engine, right? But when you type in, Tampa TMS, it's still saying our services when it's Tampa TMS, right? So it's still taking its time. But I'm hoping over the next couple of days we'll start to re-index that, and we'll start to show those keywords in the URL structure, and actually show those stars on the page. So thank you very much, guys. Remember to join my group. Leave a like, leave a subscribe if you like this video, if it provided you some value.